Now entering Nerdist.com.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a Daylight and Dollar short. Today we learned. This is Tuesday. But here's the deal. This has been... I'm going to have this guy back, if anything, as, you know, it's Dan's out doing awesome shit right now, and it's just me and Jason here, the guest, Jason Dundas. Very talented, very fun host. He's been all over. He's from Australia. He's been on Entertainment Tonight, MTV's Beyond Dance, and he's hosting a new show, America's Best Dance Crew for MTV, that comes out next Wednesday, July 29th on MTV. You should check it out. It sounds very awesome. I'm going to actually go and go see a taping or two because it sounds really, really fun. But this is not only is it a fact-filled episode, but it's the stories this guy has are very interesting and very fun, and just it's a very, very fun episode. It's one of just off the top of my head. I got, I was as soon as we got done recording, I'm like, oh, we got to have this guy back just because the stories he has are really fun. And I compiled a list of facts, and we didn't even get to a lot of the ones that I had because through his stories, he would bring up facts about other things that were even more interesting that we looked into, like Komodo dragons and where they reside, and also, the directions of shark attacks and things like that. He's a very knowledgeable, well-traversed gentleman. He hosted a travel show for a while and all that, so he's just very intelligent, very very well-read individual, very smart dude. And it's a really fun episode. So you guys should enjoy this. I enjoyed it. So I guess we'll, light this candle and get right to it. Today we learned I'm looking at ourselves because I can't remember. I think it's number 96 maybe, right? I think last week was number 95. 97? This is 97? Jeez Louise, we're almost to 100. Hopefully we'll have a special guest for episode 100. I'm working on it. Today we learned number 97 with Jason Dundas.
Today we learn. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
I was at Comic-Con to interview the Hunger Games cast.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why, and I saw that he went down there.
Yeah. And
Affleck and Cavill.
How was that?
Oh, you rolling on the thing?
Yeah.
Oh, you just guys
You just go. That's just
Yeah. So I went down to Comic-Con for random show, but Good Morning Britain.
Okay.
It's like the Today Show, but in the UK, like Good Morning America, but
Love
in the
it.
UK.
Yeah.
And I had to interview...
But it airs in Britain.
It airs in Britain, yeah, which is cool. So no one sees it here.
Yeah.
And I had to interview the Hunger Games cast. So I chatted with Jennifer Lawrence and Liam Hemsworth. He's actually a buddy of mine from Oz. And a bunch of other guys. It was cool. But I was just talking to you a second before we started because about Ben Affleck was going to come down the next day with Henry Cavill and talk about the new Superman Batman movie. And I just watched the Comic-Con trailer.
Yeah.
I thought he was pretty sick.
Did you get to talk to him about it or not?
No, I mean, I didn't get to.
And it's such a... Because I'm so conflicted because...
Right.
Because I'm not a huge fan of the things the director has done in the past.
Right.
But in everything leading up to it, I was very skeptical.
Yeah.
But then the trailer, it's like, okay, I can kind of...
Yeah, I feel it.
I'm more on board with that than the Suicide Squad trailer.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. But then the more I read... But then it's like, I like everything David Ayers has done. Like, I like Fury and all that shit. So it's like...
Yeah.
it's so conflicting.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think.
Personally, as like a viewer, I mean, I'm obviously not a director or whatever, but as a viewer, I don't like the idea of combining too many people into one movie. The whole Superman-Batman thing is crazy as hell.
Yeah, right?
I don't know if I dig that.
And then there's Aquaman and Cyborg a little bit, and then there's Wonder Woman in the trailer. Like, who's she fighting?
Don't know about all that, but I think just to conclude my Ben Affleck thoughts, I think he's going to crush.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be good. And then to go back to Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie's like a mate of mine from Australia as well. Yeah, I liked what I saw of Jared Leto as the Joker.
For the audience, I'm handing him my phone to put her number in it.
Oh, yeah, right. She's cool, man.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story about her.
Yes, tell me. But first, let me gush on how perfect she is for Harley Quinn and how amazing she looks.
She does look great.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Okay, so the story goes like this. So in Australia, our Emmys are called the Logies.
Okay,
the Logie Awards.
What is that short
so,
for?
Actually, I don't think it is an acronym. I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm not sure.
How do you spell that?
Logies, I think, Logies.
Okay.
Anyway, And so we give out our television Logie Awards to, people, high-achieving people on TV shows, much the same as the Emmys. And in Australia, like NBC, Fox, CBS, we have 3 or 4 big tentpole networks. And normally after these Logies, which is, a black tie event, they have their after parties. And you can't go... If you work for, say, CBS, you can't go to the Fox after party.
Oh, very
it's
strict.
Like a thing, right? Because Australia's only got 24 million people.
Yeah.
So we're in a little bubble down there.
Only got 24 million.
Well, America's got close to 400, right?
Something like that, probably.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is... I'd been going to the Logies for 5 years because I've been working on Australian TV for a long time. Since I was 20, I'm now nearly 33.
Okay.
And I thought, gosh, this is my last Logies. And it was being held in a casino called Crown Casino, which is owned by James Packer, the guy who's dating Mariah Carey at the moment.
Okay.
And my friend was living...
Wait, did her and what's his name divorce or split up?
Who's that?
Mariah Carey.
Nick Cannon?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I don't know. I'm sure he knows what's going on. But anyway, one of my friends was living in the casino at the time because he owns a gambling company out there. And he said to me, look, why don't we throw a party?
Yeah.
He goes, why don't we throw a party where everyone can come from all the networks? It's never happened. And you don't care because you're going to America. Just blow it out of the water.
It's genius.
Yeah. So we wrote invites on a piece of paper. We photocopied 400 of them. And in every commercial break, we went around and just bombed them on everyone's tables.
That's amazing.
So we had this.
That's punk rock right there.
It was dope. Yeah. We had a private investor
high school
too.
And everything.
Yeah, we had a guy give us $20,000 for it, but
Holy
that's a
shit.
whole other story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my Margot Robbie connection is we invited the whole 1,000 people in the room. First person to arrive, Margot Robbie. Right? With her friends.
Yeah.
She was cool as hell. I didn't know her. I just invited her. We hung out for like a hot minute. Last person to leave, Margot Robbie.
She's a party starter and a party ender.
But she was great form, man. She was cool. I interviewed her a couple of months ago in Albuquerque for a Tina Fey movie she's working on. She was, it's an Afghan film. I think it's called Funhouse or Playhouse.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I've heard
she was
of
cool.
that.
It's great, yeah.
She, Margot Robbie's 25, so that's probably why. She hasn't learned that you can show up like 2 hours late.
Yeah, she's living the dream,
She's
man.
living the dream right now. I mean, she's got she was great in Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, then Focus.
Her career's exploding.
Yeah.
It's because she keeps going to parties early.
There you go.
She's getting in
She's
that
making
face
friends.
time.
You see, we're talking about it. We're giving her airtime, man.
She's making friends and influencing people. She's like, I need to get there early. I need to give as much face time as I can.
Exactly.
That's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that voice you hear is none other than if you're from Australia or you watch Good Morning Britain, you've seen him. You've also seen him on Entertainment Tonight and MTV's Beyond Dance and America's Best Dance Crew. Jason Dundas.
Yeah.
Is that how?
That's how you say it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Jason Dundas.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Thanks for joining us. That's awesome. That's really cool. So to get into the show, as we've been so far, as I don't know what Mike or anybody's told you, it's a fun fact. It's a chat show. It's much like this.
Yeah.
And then as we chat, I'll bring up some random fun facts or whatever. Then we continue to go. We like to start off the show with the guests providing either a fun fact about themselves or something you learned recently. It can be a fun fact from a party you just threw or casino throwing, or it could be something you learned in your time in America or throughout anything.
Okay, so here's the fun fact I have. I'm starting to learn how to become a pilot.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me
so
about
it's
this.
Down at
This fascinates
the
me.
Santa Monica Flyers.
Okay.
It's actually where
Harrison Ford
flew out. And I'll tell you a story about that, actually.
Yes.
He flew out and crashed his plane on a golf course. So I've wanted to be a pilot for a long time. I was on a travel show for 5 years and flew to 50, 60-something countries.
Getaway
is the show.
Getaway. During his time on Getaway, this is from Wikipedia. Dundas presented the program from over 40 countries.
There you go.
He also hosted Getaway specials from the Greek islands, Hawaii, Indonesia.
Yeah, it went all over.
All over.
And, we went on small planes. I just became fascinated in the idea. And the actual tipping point was when I saw, this is a true story, when I saw 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
And Christian Grey was flying a plane. I went, God damn you, that's it. I'm going to become a pilot. So I went down and checked it out. It's not that expensive.
Okay.
It's about, it is, but,
Yeah.
It's about $8,000 all in to become, to get your sports light aircraft pilot's license.
That's it.
Yep. That means you're able to fly with one other person in a small plane, I think between 4 to 5 hours during the day. And it's not expensive to charter a plane. It's a couple $100 an hour.
Are you shitting me?
It's totally legit. You could seriously charter a plane and fly to Burning Man. Like, it's for real, okay?
That's cheap.
Yeah.
8,000. I mean, when you think about it,
I
comparatively,
thought it'd be like $100,000.
It would seem like it should be, but $8,000, I guess, isn't that?
Well, here's the thing: to get your license to fly a Delta plane, you have to do 1,000 hours.
Of course,
it's like $160 an hour. So that's where it goes up.
How do you fly a plane just solo, Han Solo, Harrison Ford style?
Oh, well, here's what I learned about flying the plane. So in the first class, you go up with the other instructor guy. It's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
You set the plane to 60 knots, and then you put the pitch on a certain angle, and the plane takes off itself. And at a certain amount of, I think we're at 2,500 feet, cruising down along Malibu.
Okay.
He tells me, let me know if you see any other planes. I go, why? He goes, because that's how we identify them. I go, isn't there like some radar that says, yo, there's a plane? He's like, no. In these planes, we look. So for the whole flight, I'm frantically looking for bloody, planes or helicopters. Then he lets me take the stick. The stick's very sensitive.
Okay.
You touch it like a little millimeter to the left, the whole plane will go and turn down. It's crazy responsive.
So it's not like power
It's not
steering.
like a video game, man, where you just it's like that. Like literally, it's full on. He allowed me to drop it down. I'll probably get him in trouble. But we dropped it down to 1,500 feet.
What's his name?
I know, you can say his name, Chris. And we
Chris, come on out here.
Yeah, we wreaked havoc on all the guys on the beach down at Zuma Beach. He's like, use the beach line and do figure eights down it. Practice. So we'd figure eight out to the ocean and then zip back.
Now, how far off the ground are
like
you?
1,500 feet. Like,
close enough.
Yeah, it was full on. But it was quite cool.
Yeah.
The Harrison Ford link. So when you take off on a plane, every time you have to know your exact journey, how far you're going, how much gas it requires, the weather patterns, all these sorts of things. Let the airport know, and you have to know an emergency landing area at takeoff and at landing, because that's generally when you're going to have problems. The emergency landing at Santa Monica is the golf course.
Really?
Yeah. So that's what they say to us. They're like, need to know where the golf course is. You got to land in there if you're going to get in trouble, because it's either land on the golf course or go for the runway, and you might fall short and hit a residential area, So he was doing the right thing.
Yeah. And I remember reading when he did crash that plane, which was like a vintage, like he was one of his cocky, I'm gonna fly one of these old planes.
That's the thing. You call them like airplane boffins.
Yeah.
All the rich people have cool old school planes
that malfunction.
Yeah.
But they say it happens during or most of those malfunctions. And had he apparently his plane something was wrong with it to where he could only maintain altitude if he continued like turning or something.
Yeah, right.
To where if he would have tried to change the pitch or the yoke to go back to the runway, he would have nosedived even further. I think so. I think he flew it like sideways maybe for a bit. I'm not sure.
Well, they were saying to me in these light aircraft, the engine can go out at 3,000 feet and you can land by gliding in. So it's actually a lot safer than being in a big 747.
Yeah, that's wild.
But still, the thing is, since I started, I heard so many stories from other budding pilots about people who have actually lost their lives flying small aircraft. So it's making me a little about continuing
Just
the pilots.
don't fly by yourself.
Yeah.
Fly with other people that tell you to do figure eights over the beach.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll finish it eventually. I started with a buddy, and he's a lot further ahead than I am.
Oh, you just don't have time to...
No, I've just sort of taken a little back step.
Yeah. So is it $8,000 up front, or is it over per lesson?
Whenever I have a very smart friend who's a businessman who's my mentor, and whenever I do anything dealings, I always give them up front in advance.
Have to
cut the price.
I used to work out, and I'm thinking about getting another gym membership, and because I want to get into Captain America Thor shape.
Sure, I can give you advice on that.
And I've been thinking about getting a new gym membership somewhere.
Yeah.
And everything I read is go in there just with no don't compromise. You're gonna have an initiation fee and all that, and just be like, look, here's the deal. I'll pay you 3 years in advance. I don't want an initiation fee. I want to pay X amount. I don't know.
What area are you in?
I'm in Culver City, but I want to be able to go to multiple. You know what I mean? I don't want to just one location.
Locations.
Yeah, because I might be needing to move out of Culver City soon, and I don't want to have to drive. If I end up getting a house in the valley or something,
right. Maybe one of those 24-hour fitness, LA fitness type things. I used to go to Equinox.
Okay,
it cost me about $1 billion a month,
right?
so I quit. Now I go to a tiny little gym in West Hollywood called the Eastern Gym.
Okay.
Loads of cool cats go there.
Yeah.
Small, exactly what you said. They said it's X dollars per month. I go, how about like up front?
Yeah.
And they dropped it by like 30%.
Of course, because
Yeah.
that's
Much
where, I
better.
mean, it's they want that up front.
Yeah.
But they also, I mean, I get why they do that.
Yeah.
Because you have people getting on these plans.
Yeah.
And they end up not using it or whatever.
Yeah, and then they forget
it's
to
free,
cancel it
forget
and
to
they just
cancel.
roll it out. Yeah, exactly. I go to the gym twice a day, 6 days a week.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Are you doing that for a reason?
A couple of reasons. I just became
You want to be a superhero or what?
Oh, yeah, I want to be Thor's brother.
Yeah.
I just became a health coach as well. I
course.
studied online to be a health coach.
And what is that? What is that?
It's okay. It's a little random, and you'll
Yeah, it
probably
sounds
laugh.
like you're
and then I'll
selling
tell you.
snake oil
And then
here.
I'll tell you why I did it.
I got my pilot's license and I tell people how to
yeah,
be
but-
healthy.
Well, look, here's the thing, right? So it's called a holistic health coach.
Of course.
Now, I didn't do it for these reasons, but
Yeah.
the idea of the course is you can educate people on how to balance their, physical activity, their career, their
Okay.
finances, their relationship, their spirituality. But I did it because I want to know what to feed my kids.
Okay.
That's seriously the reason why I
Sure.
did it. So when I was younger, I had the crappest diet.
Yeah.
You could like my parents had $0. We ate lamb chops that were burnt with you call them French fries, we call them hot chips,
Okay.
and that was it
Yeah.
for 17 years. So now you live in LA, which is like nuts on healthy crap. You get
Wild.
exposed to all this. So I wanted to do something because I find everywhere you go, someone has an opinion about something, but they don't really know what it is or what
Yes.
it does for you.
Correct.
So I thought I'd just, I'm a big guy that researches, so I know.
Okay.
And that's kind of one of the traits of being a host. You have to
Yeah.
know. So I thought, stuff it. I'm going to learn all about nutrition, and then I'm going to know. So when I go to Whole Foods, I know what that does
Okay.
and how to achieve a certain
So do you have
result.
kids right now?
No.
No.
Preparation, man. Yeah. I don't even have a girlfriend.
You're just planning.
I'm just planning well
just
ahead.
planning.
I'm going to be a great package.
I'll tell you one thing when you have kids is
Yeah.
your wife won't let you fly in a plane.
No, that's why I'm doing it all now. I'm
Gotta
getting it
get
all out of the
that down
way.
out of the way.
Yeah, my friend was like, you should buy a 2-seater car too, because you won't be able to do that later on. He's like, go buy something cool. I'm like, oh, okay.
Sounds like your friend just wants to be in the cockpit. Hey, buy a 2-seater car that I can ride in. and buy a
Well,
plane.
he's the other pilot. He
of
bought a
course.
Porsche. He's like,
Of course he did.
He's like, you should buy a Porsche. I'm like, you look like a douche, man.
It blows my mind. I was just talking to a friend of mine whose friend, he's like, oh yeah, he's like a YouTuber or whatever. He's
Yeah.
like, I just bought a $90,000 car.
That's such
And I'm
a
like,
waste of money.
I'm like, is it a Tesla?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And I'm like,
Why would you do
why
that?
would you not? Why would you, if you bought, it's such a waste. It's a waste of fucking,
It's like buying a boat, man.
but spending that much money on a vehicle
Yeah.
that takes gas
Yeah.
and you can't upgrade it via the internet
Yeah.
is the dumbest thing in the world.
Of all time. I nearly
all
bought
time.
a Nissan Leaf.
Don't-
Oh, you
my
say
brother's got
Nissan Leaf, right?
Nissan, how
Yeah,
do you say it?
Nissan. Same stuff, yeah.
So
I nearly bought one. They're incredible.
my brother has one and he loves the shit out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, but those can only go. And the thing about buying it is, if you lease it nowadays, they'll give
They
you
give you a chunk
they
of
give
money.
You
It's
fucking
like
money back. It's like a free
$2,500
thing, dude.
Yeah.
Like I'm thinking about getting one. I live in a house right now.
Yeah.
But they're going to be tearing it down to build a complex because I
Sure.
rent it right that. So I've thought about getting one of these leasing programs because I spend maybe, it's about maybe I would say I spend maybe $150 a month on gas, maybe
Yeah.
driving around town.
A month?
About that, maybe.
What car do you have? A Prius?
No, I have a Chevy Cobalt.
150 a month. Oh, it's a hybrid.
No, it's not a hybrid.
A month?
It's on gas. It's maybe.
I spend that a week.
I probably do maybe $40 a week in gas. So 4 weeks out of the month, on average, $160.
Okay.
But then there's insurance, so then there's
Yeah, it
there's
all
all
adds
sorts
up,
of shit.
yeah.
So it's like if I I'm thinking about getting because they'll give you money back, and it ends up being
Yeah.
what you drop on gas.
Yeah, here's the thing. If you buy it, I think you get like
give you, like-
$7,000.
Yeah, I know. But then the thing is it's like a phone, dude.
Yeah.
The Nissan Leaf is a phone.
Yeah,
it can go 80 miles right now, but in a year and a half, they're going
It's
to
gonna go
release
300.
They're going to release one that
Yeah,
goes 300.
yeah.
So any electric cars, it's like a new phone. It's like
Yeah.
a thing. You might as well just rent it,
Lease it, yeah,
lease it.
100%.
They give you money unless it's like a Tesla,
Yeah.
where they just give you you just upload something and then it picks you up in your driveway.
Here's my concern, though. I've been doing a lot of browsing on Auto Trader and
Yeah.
test driving a lot of these cars. There's nothing really cool You've got to go. The BMW i3.
Those are nice.
It's nice, but it does looks
That's
freaky
the kind of
and a
the
little
small
weird.
one, right?
Yeah,
My
but
buddy's
it's
got
still
one of
like
those too.
$48,000, dude.
I know, but it's like you're inside a spaceship, and that
Yeah,
one,
recycled
that was like
timber in the dash.
Yeah. Oh, my buddy's got one of those,
It's
and
pretty
it's so
sick.
dope.
Yeah.
But it's like it goes 80 miles. Like he's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, do you want to go somewhere? And he's like, can you come pick me up? And it's like,
Yeah, it's horrible. See, the Tesla's the only one at the moment that can
300
actually
miles,
travel a good distance, but I'm not spending $100,000 on a
no.
car.
Well,
There's
give
no
it
way.
2 years.
And
and
well, they're releasing a cheaper version and then
cheaper version.
SUV.
Yeah, but they can also I was reading somewhere that you can lease them too for like $1,000 a month, but that's still like
It's still like
so
absurd. I mean, I don't
absurd.
really care about it.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, but it upsets me when I see people dropping money. That when people, it upsets me that I don't have money to blow on like $90,000 cars because
Yeah.
they buy cars that's you still need to waste time.
so much more money on it.
You're not only are you wasting so much more money on gas, but you're wasting your time
Yeah.
filling up the gas.
Yeah, true.
Unless you're paying someone to go fill it up for you.
Yeah.
But
The Ford Fusion's pretty cool.
yeah, those are neat.
Yeah. I don't know. I might get one soon. I'll
Yeah.
check it out. They're really quick off the line too.
They're-
The Nissan Leaf hammers off the
They
line.
have, well, it's because it's all like
It's like a
there's
remote control
It's a
car.
remote control car, and all the weight is sent. It's split up
Yeah.
evenly. It's all the weight
torque's
displacement.
unbelievable, yeah.
The torque's amazing because you're not hauling something or you're not.
No.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Those are awesome. You're from. You were born and raised in Penrith.
Yeah. Penrith is like Compton.
Okay.
So Penrith is very, very small, kind of, we call it bogan. You heard
Okay.
that slogan before?
I haven't.
Yeah, bogan is like an Aussie that would sound like, "Hey, going, mate? You all right? Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, what's happening, mate? You all right?"
So like
it's
a southern.
it's like a rough kind of area.
Okay.
About an hour west of Sydney.
Okay.
And by being west, people refer to you as a Westie.
Okay.
So it's got a negative stigma living out there. So it's quite interesting that a guy from the West became launched on TV.
Yeah.
In the East.
So did your dialect change as you?
Dude, I was basically 20 who I had 5 words in my vocabulary.
Yeah. What were they?
Hey, going? That's one.
That's fine.
Yeah, it was
How you
pretty,
going,
pretty
one?
it was pretty bad. And I was studying graphic design at
Okay.
university because that's like my jam
Yeah.
and passion.
I got to show you this. I'm well versed on Photoshop. I've been doing it for years, and I don't on this Mac. I need to get a new one, but I
Okay.
have an app on my phone that I'll just fuck around and make
Photoshop
jokes for.
app?
Yeah, it's called Juxtaposer.
Okay.
and it's just simple dumb shit. And I
Sick.
do you know who Ti is?
Yeah, dude, he's the man.
I mashed up Ti and Magnum PI.
Oh, yeah, that's,
It's so
that's
stupid.
pretty good. That
But it's
actually is a
just-
good look on him.
I know.
The goatee, the mustache. I like
It's so
that.
stupid. But anyways, back to
Oh yeah. So I was studying graphic design and then entered this contest on MTV. Like I would stay up till 4 a.m. in the morning watching MTV because it was in this small town of Penrith. It was the only outlet I had to sort of international creativity.
Okay.
And MTV back then was, I mean, they're sick, but in Sydney, it was sort of our only look into American international creative minds, the VMAs and all that kind of stuff. So it blew my mind. I would watch it till 5 in the morning doing uni assignments or university assignments. And there was an advert that ran and said, "Hey, do you want to win, do you want to host your own TV show?"
Yeah.
I was the shyest kid at school, but I was, funnily enough, doing a video editing project at that time. So I turned the camera and put on my mum's suit, put my hair in pigtails, and hit myself in the head with a frozen loaf of bread to Hotel Yorba by the White Stripes.
Oh, good tune.
For 2 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Just like, nah, 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 and then sent it into MTV. Because when Jackass was massive.
Okay.
And they called me back and gave me the job. And
Wow.
literally 3 weeks after I had the job, they pulled me to the side and they said, "Look, it's not really working. First of all, you can't really speak. Secondly, we need to do something, or you're gonna, you have to get let go." So they took me to vocal coaching,
Okay.
where I learned how to sort of change my dialect a little bit.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking here. The Logie Awards
Yeah.
are the annual Australian Television Industry Awards, which have been presented since 1959.
Oh, there you go.
They renamed by Graham Kennedy in 1960 after he won the first Star of the Year award. The name Logie, the Logie Award honors John Logie Baird. He was a Scotsman who invented the television as a practical medium. So
Wow.
he's one of the dudes who invented the television. And I guess let's delve a little bit deeper here. John Logie, he died in 1946. He was born in 1988. He was a Scottish engineer, innovator, one of the innovators of the mechanical television, and the innovator of the first publicly demonstrated color television. So
That's pretty cool.
The inventor, the Australian Logie Awards, are named after the inventor of the color television.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I threw the biggest hybrid party they've ever had.
So you had what was this? For that party, you had someone gave you $20,000 to just throw the party?
we had, I don't know.
Was it a company or was it?
It's a guy.
It was just a dude who wanted to hang out with cool people.
Yeah, there's a story there, but I don't think he'd like me telling it on radio. But
fair enough.
He's just a cool cat with some disposable income.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
He should buy a $90,000 car.
I'm sure he has multiple
He should learn how to fly a plane.
That. Yeah.
So Penrith is a suburb and major center in the metropolitan area of Sydney, which is in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Now, this is how much of an American I am. We've had Australians on the show before, and I always look at Australia, and I think Australia, and I never really delved into it to figure out how it's split up.
Sure.
And it's actually segregated into six states.
Yeah.
Well, there's a territory. Does that consider a state?
That's not a state. No, the ACT. That's actually the capital.
Okay, so there's
6 states, including the little strip down the bottom, which is an island called Tasmania.
Okay, so Tasmania is considered a state.
Yeah.
So then you have the Western Australia.
Yep, which is
a state.
massive. Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the country. There's a lot of rich history there. You know, Indigenous Australians referred to as Aboriginals.
Okay,
they've got artifacts and remains that have been dated back to 55,000 years as the first evidence of humans on Earth.
Oh wow!
And you can travel out there, and look, if you look at those old maps of when the Earth was one, it was sort of connected to Africa and all this sort of stuff. So it's really raw out there. You have massive saltwater crocodiles, prehistoric sort of foliage. It's a really sort of spiritual destination. It's quite wild.
Okay.
It's called we call it the Outback. It's, there's an area out there.
So that's the Outback.
Yeah, it's called Arnhem Land. Is one particular area where I traveled through, and Kakadu is another very famous area, and they have big landmark there, big rock called Uluru, Ayers Rock, which is a hot spot for tourists. But Arnhem Land is not really as promoted heavily, but it's where I spent a lot of time on the travel show, and I'd recommend that highly. It's a beautiful part of Australia.
So the Uluru is almost like a big plateau.
It's a massive rock. Yeah.
If you're at a computer, Google this because it's a beautiful structure. It's a beautiful land.
And they have these 6-star resorts called luxury camping near Uluru, and you stay in these glamorous huts, and there's a billion stars above you at night, and the rock glows in the morning, and it's quite spectacular.
And that's part of Western Australia.
That's out there, yeah.
Then there's the Northern Territory.
Northern Territory? Yeah, Uluru might actually be in the Northern Territory. I'm not sure. It's right in the middle. Then there's the Northern Territory. Then there's Queensland, South Australia, Victoria, and Tasmania.
Then New South Wales.
And New South Wales, yeah, where Sydney is. That's the big city. My parents actually just drove across the Simpson Desert.
Okay.
Which goes from I think New South Wales over to Western Australia, all through the sand dunes for about a week. And they had to take all their own food, their own water, take all their supplies. They've just retired. My dad bought this really cool old Land Cruiser and tricked it out.
Yeah.
And they planned this holiday for a year, went driving through the desert. It's pretty wild.
How long did it take them to do that?
I think it's like a 2-week trip, but to give you a little insight into how crazy Australia is, I think we have maybe 6 of the most dangerous stuff in the world that can kill you. We have a lot of things that can kill you in a matter of minutes.
It's very. I remember reading you have dangerous spiders, right?
Yeah, we have funnel web spiders that can knock you out in a couple of minutes. We have blue ring octopus.
Okay,
they bite you. You're in a lot of trouble.
But that's an ocean animal.
Yep. We have box jellyfish, which is the jellyfish that Will Smith poured on himself in 7 pounds to kill himself at the end of the movie.
Okay.
Extremely dangerous, kill you in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
We obviously have great white sharks, like what happened to the Aussie Mick Fanning.
Yeah. Just recently.
Yesterday,
right?
Remind me to tell you a story about that. I've surfed that break.
Really?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story about it. And we have snakes. We have brown snakes and inland pythons. We have some dangerous stuff.
And your parents decided to just traipse through that.
Yeah, they just went hardcore. My dad built this mechanical tent that sort of erects on the roof of the car. So they climb up the car and lay on the top, and then the roof just sort of like rises above them. It's quite nifty.
That's but snakes could still
They could
go up the side of a vehicle, right?
My brother-in-law breeds endangered albino pythons.
Really?
Yeah, remember
Why
Britney
does he do
Spears
that?
had that? He breeds those white-looking yellow snakes. It's a very Australian thing to do.
Is that a lucrative business?
I think they're $800 for a baby. I don't know.
That's wild.
Yeah. So wait, can I tell you a story about this break?
Yes. So what's the name of the break?
So the name is called J Bay or Jeffreys Bay. It's in South Africa. It's about a 2-hour drive from Johannesburg. And it's a really famous surf break, and they have one of the stops of the World Surfing Tour there, which I think is called now the Samsung Tour of Surfing or something like that. And it's a right-hand break, which means it peels to the right. And it's renowned because the bottom is rock, but it's not sharp coral like Hawaii. It's kind of soft. And the wave peels for many hundreds of, you'd say meters, like for a long way. So it's a really desirable break. But it's very world-renowned for having huge great whites swim through that particular area. And I worked on a show for MTV for a while, which partnered with Billabong, and we would travel to all the destinations on the world tour and interview the surfers. So we would go to Jeffreys Bay and Maui and Hawaii and all these spots. And I was in Jeffreys Bay maybe 5 years ago, interviewing all these people. And we're at a dinner function, and Kelly Slater was there, CJ Hobgood, who's one of the top 10 surfers in the world, very world-renowned, and the CEO of Billabong at the time.
Okay.
And we're all at this big event, and I was interviewing a bunch of people. And it was one of those nights in South Africa where the sky's red, and it's just glowing. It's like prehistoric.
Yeah.
And the moon was full on fluorescent, and the waves were pumping. And when you go to this beach, there's super tubes, is what they call it. It's a section that goes along where they have the competition. And then out past super tubes, another 300 feet, is called boneyards. And it's where the furthest peak of the wave begins.
So super tube is a wave.
Super tube is an area of the wave. So it breaks in a 200 feet section. That's called super tube. And you go out even further, it's called boneyards. Okay. And on a perfect swell, the waves connect all the way through, and you get a ride for many hundred feet.
Okay.
And it's amazing.
And you just paddled all the way out there?
All the way out and then catch it all the way in and then keep going back out. And so on this particular night, it was connecting through. And the water looked like oil slick. It looked amazing. So Kelly Slater, CJ Hobgood, and this Billabong guy and a handful of other guys said, we're going to go out surfing at midnight. Okay. At the most shark-infested waters in the world.
I'm assuming the moon was like bright. You could see.
Yeah, moon was pumping, yeah.
Sure.
So I went out with them.
Of course.
I figured once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Like if something goes down, it was a great moment. I have to live. I got to live. Yeah. So I went out and surfed with these guys. Now, the only problem is they're very good.
Yeah.
So every single wave that came through, they caught the bloody thing. So I'm sitting out there in the most shark-infested waters in the world with my feet dangling off my board like shark bait 300 feet out. So I'd keep my feet on the board and just sit there and wouldn't put my hands in the water. I got 2 waves and then got out of there. It was crazy, but I lived to tell the story.
Did you see any shark fins or anything like that?
You can't see anything. I could only see 6 feet in front of me. But that video of Mick's pretty scary.
And he just punched it. And he didn't get it right?
Mick's a...
does he have some synapses not firing, or he just doesn't?
No, he's a full-on Aussie.
Yeah.
He's one of those, she'll be right. Sure. We've got this attitude in Australia, but yeah, she'll be right, mate. Yeah. You can just work anything out. He's got a lot of street smarts.
Yeah.
And so I think the shark pulled him on the... So, first of all, if a shark wants to eat you, it'll hit you at 30 miles an hour from underneath. They attack in an upward V.
Okay.
So...
Shark Week, it's a little late, but there you go.
If you scuba dive and sit on the bottom of the ocean, it's very hard for the shark to come and attack you. Where if you're up above it, it will attack you in an upward V.
Okay. So they can't swim fast
I'm not sure if they can't, but
they choose not
the chances of you being eaten if you're sitting on the bottom are much lower than if you're hovering above it.
Okay.
So if the shark wanted to eat him, it would have come and hit him at full speed and just whacked him from the bottom. So it's obviously just having a look. Yeah. So it's taken a little nibble of his leash and pulled him, and then he's gone manic and fallen in the water and punched the thing in the back. And when he's hit it, it's gone, well, I don't like this, and taken off.
Something's fighting back.
In that moment, who says, gosh, I'm going to punch the shark?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And it's happening so fast, and I guess as long as it didn't bite him, he obviously
Look, I think if blood came out, he'd be in a lot of trouble.
It would have continued. But
I would
the fact
assume
that the shark didn't, he bit the rope or whatever.
Yeah, he bit what's called the leg rope.
And nothing, it didn't
It didn't
give
break
him any
skin, no.
synapses. It didn't make the
Of
shark. The shark
food.
didn't know it was food.
Yeah.
But
So
it's
he was okay.
It's not food, and it's fighting me.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave.
I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
That's wild. Jeffreys Bay
Yep.
is, according to, if this is the right Eastern Cape, is that the right?
Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah.
It's named after the senior partner of the firm Jeffrey and Glendings that opened a store in 1849 on the location where the town is today. Jeffrey is believed to be the first person that settled there. So Jeffreys Bay, the fishing town there, if this is the right Jeffreys Bay in South Africa I'm looking at.
Great surf.
Is surfing. Jeffreys Bay is one of the 5 most famous surfing destinations, number 2 on the best world surfing list in the world, and hosts the annual Billabong Pro ASP World Tour surfing event at Super Tubes
Yeah, there you go.
during
yeah.
July. So this is that. It was named after a dude that settled, that he opened a store there in 1849.
Yeah. They sell really good, you know what Ugg boots are?
Yeah.
They sell amazing Ugg boots. They're custom made, and they've got this little Jeffreys Bay logo on the back. And I've still got them. They're like 8 years old. They're the best things I've ever bought.
From
It's a
Jeffreys Bay.
small, tiny little boutique store. You can get them online.
And they're actual Ugg boots, or they're similar to Ugg boots?
No, they're custom made, all authentic. They're just very cool.
That's
They're not
wild.
Ugg the brand.
Yeah,
They're
but
special one-off.
They're similar.
Yeah, the thing
custom-made boots.
filled with the sheep fur and wool.
It's the surfing at Blue Flag Beach is a beach that's popular for surfing over there also. That's really cool. So that's in South Africa.
Surf's supposed to be good today. Down in
Surfing?
Malibu, yeah.
Are you a surfer?
Oh, yeah.
now?
I surfed my whole life for about 25 years.
Have you gotten better than the 2-wave
Oh, yeah.
midnight surf?
No, that wasn't because of my ability. That's because I was like, my heart was skipping a beat. But yeah, no, I've surfed all over the world my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah, the swell's supposed to be pretty good today down in Malibu.
Where's your where was the favorite place you surfed?
Indonesia.
Indonesia.
So,
Now,
yeah,
were you there for the getaway, or was that just a
I went
vacation,
there
a holiday?
pre-getaway. So
Okay.
in Australia, Indonesia is kind of like our Hawaii getaway,
Okay.
but it's very close. It's a 3-hour flight from the west of Australia.
Okay.
And the archipelago is incredibly rich with culture and that island escape.
Yeah.
And one of the most popular islands is called Bali. And they have some incredible surfing in Bali. There's a break there called Uluwatu's, which is a left-hander that's just beautiful barrels. Really cool. And it's really popular for tourists. So they've got nightclubs and shops and
Bali is, right? Yeah,
Bali,
I've seen. I don't know. Like, I've always heard of Bali, but literally over the last year, it seems that I've known more people that have
gone to Bali. Yeah, it's going
off.
off.
Like every 3 weeks, I see some girl I follow on Instagram or I've known for years on Facebook or whatever saying, "Oh, going to Bali."
Well, it's become very gentrified.
Yeah.
So there's these really hip villas in the main hip town. I guess the West Hollywood is called Seminyak.
Okay.
And there are all these villas in Seminyak that are extremely affordable for what you get. You get a 5-star villa for a really good price.
Okay.
And you've got all the luxuries of the bars and cafes, and there's really cool people, and then you can surf. So it's great. But I explored some of the smaller islands with some friends.
Okay.
Which are incredible surfing.
Yeah. So you just did that all day?
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
Now, during your time on Getaway, you went to 40-some countries.
Yeah, we went everywhere.
What was your favorite country you've been to?
Okay, so I mean, there's
What one stands
a number of ways I can answer this. So I'll just give you a few little stories.
Sure.
So, in the Indonesian archipelago, we went to an island called Rinca Island, which is next to Komodo Island, and we went on a 7-day cruise on an old tiki ship where we scuba dived every day. And we would do drift diving. So you would ascend down or descend and then let the current drift you through the coral.
Okay.
And then come back up 2 hours later. On our expedition to Rinca Island where Komodo dragons live. Because we were going to hike with the Komodo dragons. They live wild on this island.
Are they venomous?
So Komodo dragons have bacteria in their saliva. And if they bite you, they give you septicemia. And then they hunt you down and eat you.
Okay.
So they're ambush predators. So they're like a land-dwelling crocodile, massive. They can be 4 meters long. They look like they're straight from Jurassic World, and they're wild on this island called Rinca. And we went there, and our guide had nothing but a big stick, and he walked us up into the hill to find these Komodo dragons. And we get up and we find this huge dragon, and they just lay there, in the sun all day. And they don't eat anything until it gets really close to them. And there's this massive one, it's like 4 meters big, sitting there in this little shrubbery. And there's a camera guy, a producer, myself, a sound guy, and our guide. And our guide's got the stick. And he says to me...
Who's got the stick? I got the stick.
Yeah. And the cameraman, we were all about 30 feet away, and the wind's blowing the other direction.
Sure.
So the guy goes, it's fine. The wind's not coming towards us. He can barely see us. He can't smell us. So he goes, why don't you go around the other side and walk really close to it, about 10 feet away. It can't see. And we'll get this great shot where we can see the dragon, and then we'll pull focus on the dragon to reveal you really close. And you can say this David Attenborough really cool thing about the dragon.
Yeah.
I go, great. So I'll go by myself. Yeah. And they're like, yeah. I go, okay, cool. So I go around there, and the camera guy was a bit of an ass. He's like, you need to come a bit closer to the dragon. He's just giving me hell about it. Meanwhile, I'm 5 feet from this bloody dragon.
Yeah.
The wind changes.
Holy shit.
And the dragon goes from sleeping dragon to Game of Thrones dragon. Like, what the hell is up? And it's looking around, tweaking at us. So I run for my life towards the crew. Dragon comes up, runs at us all. Camera guy leaves his tripod and camera, and we sprint for like 100 meters to get out of there. And the guy with the stick's like trying to poke his stick at this bloody dragon. But it was fine. We were all good.
At what point did you go back to get the camera?
Oh, we had to sort of like slowly go back with the stick and work out where the dragon was and get the $50,000 Digibeta cam.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
the Komodo Dragon.
Yeah, Rincha. So the thing is that you think Komodo Island is going to have more dragons, but Rincha Island is actually the one that has the most dragons. It's an incredible trip. You dive for 6 days on an old tiki boat, and then you arrive and hike with the dragons and then head back. It's great.
Now, so you're on the boat for 6 days. It's a 6-day trek.
A diving trip, and then you get off and go hike.
When you say diving, okay, so you dive
every day
while the boat's going.
Right?
I
mean, it moors for a day. You dive, then come back, hop on the boat, and then continue on your journey.
Okay,
yeah,
that's really wild.
So I'll give you another story. So I was in China.
Rincha. So it's okay, so this is news to me because I always, when I think of Komodo dragon, I think of like Asia dragon or Chinese dragon or whatever. Indonesia, but it's in Indonesia. The islands. There's Komodo. There's Rinca. There's Flores.
Oh, Rinca, yeah.
There's you're probably pronouncing it more than me.
Pronounce it wrong. Yeah.
I'm just reading it. You're probably pronouncing it correctly. There's Gili Montang.
Yep.
And then there's Pandar, or there's Padar. The Komodo dragon is a member of the monitor lizard family Varanidae. It is the largest living species of lizard, growing to a maximum length of 3 meters, also known as 10 feet.
It's insane.
A 10-foot.
It had eaten an 8-year-old boy from a local village a week before we arrived. He kicked his soccer ball into the bush.
The same one?
No, I mean, there's multiple dragons.
Like...
He kicked the soccer ball into the bush, grabbed his soccer ball, bam, it took him.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah. Insane.
Hey, let's go hang out there and let's walk 5 feet. That's a good idea.
It's nuts.
That'll make for a good TV show.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my other story. I'm in China.
Okay.
I've been there for 2 days in Beijing, and we head out to the Great Wall of China, and I'm with a female co-host, and we were sort of doing a story on the Great Wall, nothing spectacular, and it started to snow. There wasn't many people around, and there's a toboggan run. You know what a toboggan track is? It's like a steel semicircle.
It's got grates for...
and you like slide down on a little cart, down a little steel sort of track.
Yeah.
There's a toboggan run from the top of the Great Wall that goes down bottom to the car park. It goes for maybe half a mile.
Okay.
And it's not policed. So there's one dude at the top that's just like, yo, go. And then you fly down at unlimited speed. And then at the bottom there's a guy that says, cool, give me the cart back. That's it. It doesn't cost anything. And so we were filming this experience. And I was in front, and the female co-host was in the back, and she had a camera on her toboggan so she could look at it and talk to the lens while she's flying down the hill.
Yeah.
And the camera crew's at the top, and they say, great, you guys go down, and then we'll meet you at the bottom in 20 minutes. And so I take off first, and, I'm sort of like a quarter down the track, and this little Chinese kid who's like 10 years old was freaking out. He'd stopped on a hairpin. So I screeched to a halt behind this kid, and I'm just behind a blind corner.
Yeah.
And I'm like, kid, you got to move. There's like people coming in. He doesn't speak English. He's freaking out. So I'm sitting there, and out of the corner of my eye, I see my co-host flying around the corner. She's in an 80-pound cart made of pure metal.
Yeah.
Not looking.
A death machine.
Death machine. Looking at this bloody camera. She's coming right at me. I had no time to react, so I literally sat there and just tensed. And this toboggan clipped up and hit me in the spine. It throws me out of the toboggan onto the snow. I'm paralyzed from the waist down.
Okay.
I hear a pop. I'm completely winded. I can't breathe. And in that split second, I'm trying to move my legs and I can't move them. And I clench and I kick one toe and start moving a toe, and then my body moves in, but it feels like there's a steel object in my back, like a pipe of some description. There's nothing in there, and I'm not bleeding, but I feel like there's something doesn't belong to me in my back.
Yeah, a foreign object.
Yeah, that's like affecting the way I'm moving. So, and she's completely rattled. So I hop onto the toboggan and travel all the way back down and lay on the concrete on the ground, flat.
By this time, the kid in front of you has gone.
The kid's obviously had to go, because I've run into him pretty quick as well. I've given him a kick down the hill.
Yeah.
So I get to the bottom of the hill and I lay there flat, and my crew turns up, and being Australian, they're all like, "Come on, mate, you'll be right. Get up. You're not hurt." And I go to them, "I think I've done some damage. I think I'm in a lot of pain."
I think I'm in some pain.
And they laughed at me for about 20 minutes. They put me on a board of wood on a bus and then traveled me to Beijing, where they said I had 2 broken vertebrae. So on your spine, you have vertebra like this, and then you have these little bones that come off the side, and those bones attach to your core muscles.
Okay.
And I'd shattered 2 of those bones, and those were what I felt like foreign objects in my body, because they're now not attached to my body.
Yeah.
So I have these bones floating in my body. And when I came out from the X-ray, everyone was like, "Crap."
Was it like your
this guy wasn't
C2,
lying.
or do you remember?
Yeah, it was like 2 and 3 or
C2
something
and
down there.
3?
Yeah. So for the next 2 weeks, I had to lie flat on my back, because you don't operate on this.
Yeah.
But flat on my back in a media-controlled hotel in China,
Okay.
where there's only 2 English-speaking channels, and every time they speak about anything to do with China, because the Tibetan crisis was going on, the screen goes black. And they were rerunning Patch Adams. Remember that movie, Patch Adams? They reran that like 1,000 times a day. So I just sat there doing nothing.
Yeah.
It was horrendous. I shaved my head like I was in Taxi Driver because I was just so bored.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah. But I was okay in the end.
That's wild. So your vertebrae has your spine has like C1, 2, 3, and 4 on your neck, and generally like when those sever
it was
or break,
down here.
Oh, the C.
So it was like L. I think it was L2 and 3 maybe. Yeah, it was down the bottom.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I could be wrong. I just know there's numbers.
Yeah. Well, the doctor, when he X-rayed it, he said, he came out, he says, "Look, you've broken these 2 just above where you did a compression fracture on your last one." And I go, "I did a what?" And he goes, "Yeah, about 2 years ago, you did a compression fracture in this vertebra." And I thought back, and I remembered on Australia Day, which is your 4th of July.
Okay.
I was 23, drank a lot of beer, this brand of beer called Victoria Bitter, which is like an Australian bogan beer. And I ran and jumped off a cliff 40 foot into the ocean and landed flat on my back. And again, felt paralyzed for quite a while.
Did you go see a doctor?
I didn't go to the doctor.
Or he just noticed that?
He noticed, yeah. I just kept surfing. My friend said, "If it hurts, keep surfing and you'll make it stronger." So I surfed through a compression fracture and didn't realize.
Did it fix itself, or is it
fixed itself? Yeah.
And the doctor, this is how amazing medicine, the medical field is to me. He can look at
and say when it was.
And say when it was.
He goes, "It was about 2 years ago, yeah?" And I go, "Oh, crap, that's right." So I called all my friends. "You'll never believe when that happened, I broke my back."
The Victoria Bitter is a lager produced by Carlton United Breweries. It's a subsidiary of Foster's in Melbourne, Victoria. It was first brewed by a gentleman by the name of Thomas Aitken at Victoria Brewery in 1854. It's one of the highest-selling beers in Australia, Victoria
popular
Bitter.
One.
VB, Victoria
It's not
Bitter.
expensive. It's just a mainstream beer. When you go to the cricket, you know what cricket is?
Yeah.
My dad's the Australian cricket statistician.
Okay.
So I'd grown up in cricket a lot in my family. You go there and you drink VB.
That'd be the go-to.
That's the thing to do, yeah.
What if you were to compare it to... I don't drink alcohol, so I'm not...
I don't drink it now either. I stopped
enough.
when I was like 23.
Okay. So I guess...
You compare it to...
Like...
let's have a think. I mean, you're like a Beck's or a Stella.
Okay.
They're fancy beers.
Yeah.
This is not a fancy beer. Maybe like a Budweiser.
Okay.
Yeah, like a middle range beer.
Like so it's
like
just a normal beer.
Oh yeah,
like a
run of the mill beer.
Like run of the.
It ain't no European fancy beer. Yeah.
Speaking of, while we're talking about like drinks and all that, apparently, are you a coffee drinker?
Like, I'll have an espresso before I do a legs workout at the gym.
Okay.
Because otherwise I have no energy to squat.
I used to. I'm not a huge coffee drinker. I used to consume the hell out of like energy drinks and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
There's so much. Those are so just bad for you, chemical wise.
Pretty crazy, yeah.
I've gotten into these Mio squirts where it's like it's B vitamins and then it's got caffeine and it's like a flavor water. You could squirt
What's
in your water.
What's the brand?
There's Mio.
Okay.
Then there's off brands and it's like a little squirt bottle and it's got caffeine in it.
Cool.
That equals like it's got B vitamins and then it's got caffeine, which equal like a cup of coffee or whatever. So I've been doing that. But apparently coffee, the more it's roasted, like you got the dark roast and all that, coffee loses its caffeine slightly as it gets roasted.
Oh, but
more.
you still hold the flavor?
Yeah, you still hold the roast is what alters the flavor from the green coffee bean. So that's a fact about that. Then here's a fact while we're recording this today. This will come out on Tuesday tomorrow for this week. Today, July 20th, in 1969 was when we landed on the moon. Human beings landed on the moon today in 1969.
There you go.
Yeah.
I nearly bought a vintage photo from, I think, the second moon landing.
Okay.
It was $1,000. It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't buy it. I went,
that's
no.
the second photo.
But it was the NASA's PR collection of photos. It was quite cool.
Wild.
Original print.
Those things, like, they fascinate the hell out of me. Like, they were, like last week, Pluto was sending us photos. There was
it's nuts.
A space, I can't remember it, not Voyager, or some space. I could look it up, but I forgot already. That's how much, like, I love it, but yet, and it's most of that stuff is in one ear and out the other, and like 4 days later, it's just like, we got photos from Pluto, and that's really cool.
Yeah, it's not as cool anymore.
Yeah, but it's still like, I mean,
once that
Pluto.
SpaceX stuff starts kicking in, then it'll become cool.
Dude, he's gonna like
change the world. You go take a holiday to Mars.
Dude, and it's like
Total Recall.
It's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And to watch like every time his rockets, like he keeps getting these rockets to go up, and then he wants to land them.
Yeah.
And he gets so close to it, and then they like malfunction. But it's like he's going to do it.
Yeah.
He's going to make it to where it's like just reusable flights.
Yeah.
To space.
It's nuts.
Hey, what are you doing this? What are you doing this weekend? You want to go up to space?
Yeah.
And let's go up to space.
Go to the moon for a while.
Let's go to the moon.
Yeah.
Now, here's a interesting thing that could work with your travels. In North America, in the United States, an appetizer is a starter dish before a main meal, which is called an entree. So, like you'd have like fries, or you'd have an appetizer. Then the entree would be the main meal, which apparently everywhere else an entree means the same as appetizer.
Yeah, I always get in trouble at restaurants because I go, I don't want an entree, I just want a main.
Okay.
And they go, oh, what?
Yeah,
the entree is your main here. It's weird.
Yeah, so the main
is an entree.
Is an entree.
Yeah.
So you'd say your main course.
So appetizer is like a snack you would have before your entree, which is your first starting meal.
Okay.
And then your main meal is technically your entree. It's your steak or your whatever it is.
Would be the main meal, not the entree.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because if you think about it, entree almost sounds like entering, like the start, like you're starting.
Get started.
Yeah, get started.
Yeah.
In French cuisine, as well as in the English-speaking world, except for the United States and parts of Canada, an entree, French entrance, it's French for entrance, is a dish served before the main course, or between two principal courses of a meal.
Yeah. I was over in France a month ago at the French Open.
Okay, how was that?
Big tennis fan. It's my thing.
Yeah,
I love tennis. It's the hardest game to be good at.
You think so?
Oh, dude.
Versus like hockey or
all those,
cricket?
All those team sports.
How's your dad feel about you
about my tennis passion?
Yeah.
My dad, when I was 13, I was a pretty good cricket player. He had me a private coach.
Of course.
And he would come to all my games and score everything. And then at halftime, he'd run out onto the field and go, look, here's where you've done good. Here's where you're going bad. Here's your average of what's happening. Here's where you need to improve.
Yeah.
But then I got burnt out of cricket, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But tennis is great because it's like I kind of like relate it to life or anything. If you want to be really good at something, it's not just about physical ability, tennis. You've got to outsmart the other guy. And every time you hit it, it's different. 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 And every time you h every single time. It is so bloody hard to be good.
I guess, I mean, that's true, I guess, because you're swatting a small trampoline at a ball.
Yeah, but you've got to hit it from under the ball and
Yeah.
go over the ball. There's like all these different tricks to get the ball to spin in to hit the court. And then you have to outwit the other player and trick him, and it's quite a hard game.
Yeah. Did you watch that? I haven't had a chance to watch it, but it's like that.
There's 7 days in hell. Yeah, I watched the Andy Samberg thing.
Is
It
that-
was
is that
cool.
funny?
It's all right. I don't know if that humor's my bag.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's
Yeah, it was pretty good. I saw a bit of it. I heard they only made it in a couple of days, like 4 days or
probably.
something. Yeah, it's on HBO, right?
Yeah. Now that's supposedly based off of a real thing.
Yeah, I'm not
Right?
sure what it's based on. I mean, he looks like he's trying to be Andre Agassi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure what that comes from.
So tennis is your sport.
Tennis is my jam, yeah. So I've been to the US Open final last 3 years, and then I went over to the French Open for the first 2 days and watched a bunch of games. There's a young Aussie guy called Nick Kyrgios who's coming up the ranks, and he actually I went and watched him play in France, and he was at Wimbledon recently, and he told, the umpire said something to him, and Wimbledon is, of course, the most prestigious, gentlemanly sport.
Yeah.
You wear all white. And he did two things.
Very posh.
Yeah,
Like,
two things that caused a stir. One, he put on a Wimbledon headband that he bought from the gift shop that was green. And they said to him, you got to take it off. And he goes, nah, it's a Wimbledon one. And so they got up him about that.
Yeah.
And then the second thing, the umpire said something to him while he was in his chair having a drink. And he said, you think you're high and mighty up there, mate? You think you're a champion? You prove your point, did you, big fella? Yeah, that's right. And gave the up lip at Wimbledon. Full on.
Oh, he was saying that to the umpire
He
in the
blew
chair.
the umpire up, yeah. He's like 20.
So he's like a young kid who's
He's a young,
very
cocky
good.
kid, yeah.
Cocky kid who's good at
Yeah,
it.
but I was reading the New York Times the day after saying that this is what tennis needs, is some controversy. A bad boy.
Well, it's almost like, I mean, in the 80s, there was John McEnroe.
Yeah, he was
who was
crazy.
Like, he was one of the best
Yeah.
at the time, and he had a temper, and he would get angry. And
Yeah.
it's almost like sport. I mean, I'm not a huge sports fan, but they do need. I mean,
They need
sports-
controversy.
Sports are. That's why people love. That's why wrestling does so well. Professional wrestling. It's theater.
Yeah, they
but there's-
orchestrate it all the time.
It's all orchestrated. And if you could orchestrate, like, I would be more I would be more probably likely to watch sports if athletes got more like cocky. Like,
Yeah.
if you're good, I mean, it's one thing to be friends with people.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot of athletes are all friends with each other, but you can still have friendly rivalries.
You mean like
could-
Floyd Mayweather when he was fighting Pacquiao? He was a total like.
As much as I hate that dude, it's like, I mean, look,
It
you
was-
want to watch that.
I paid $100.
You want to
on
watch him
demand
lose.
to watch it?
You
Yeah.
want to watch him lose.
I've never watched boxing in my life.
here.
But I go, that guy? I've got to watch this.
I've never watched a boxing match other than like on YouTube, like
Yeah,
clips
like
or highlights.
the best knockouts of all time. That's it.
That's all I've done, and
Yeah.
I've never actively gone to watch a
Yeah.
UFC fight at a bar
No, I
or
have
anything like that.
no attention
And
to
my
that.
buddy invited me, and not only was it his birthday, but he invited me to watch that fight, and I'm like, yes, I will be there.
Yeah, totally.
I will be there.
Yeah.
And I will watch the whole thing, and I will try and watch the pregame, and it's everything. Like, I read up about it.
Same. I watched the doco on Manny Pacquiao.
I was watching things about what they did and who were they won. And, like, I already knew I wanted Floyd to lose because everything I've read about him and everything I know.
I researched it as well.
But
Nice.
like the quotes and the things they
Yeah.
do, and it's just like, this
Crazy.
is ludicrous.
Yeah, they
this
make
guy's got
so much money.
just so much
Yeah,
money.
yeah.
And then they had like the Burger King guy with them and stuff like that. Like, if I was good,
Oh, that's right. The sponsored Burger King guy. Oh, was that, no, it was
Floyd
was
had-
it the Hungry Jack? No, the Jack in the Box guy, maybe.
no, it was the Burger King King.
Came walking out with him.
Walking out with Floyd Mayweather.
How much was that worth? Yeah.
Because Burger King knows they're going to be watched.
And Jimmy Kimmel was with Manny?
Pacquiao.
Yeah.
And Pacquiao paid Jimmy Kimmel to just hang out because Pacquiao doesn't have friends in the States or
Yeah.
whatever. So he'll hire Manny. If you're listening and you do another fight, I want to be on your.
Yeah, yeah.
Can me and Jason be in your entourage?
Yeah, he's cool.
Because it's like that's like, I wish I was like, I always joke, like, I wish I was famous enough or famous at all or wealthy enough to do dumb shit like that, because that's how, or talented enough to be like, if I was like if I was like Jennifer Lawrence, she gets it, she says things, or like Clooney, or even like Pacquiao, whatever, big enough to have limelight on me, to where I'm playing these matches or I'm playing tennis or whatever, I'd be doing the dumbest. Like, I'd make it a point to be absurd. I'd be starting fake feuds.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. It's so much fun.
Get your friends in on these feuds.
Yeah. Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence does get it,
She
man.
gets it.
She gets it so much. She's cool as hell.
I seen I think it was at Comic-Con. She was doing an interview. She got a tattoo of H2O because she's like, I need to be hydrated. And she got the 2 in the wrong place because it's supposed to be the lower, after the H and the lower. And she got it on the higher. And she's like, oh, yeah. And like she corrected the interview. She's like, oh, and I know the 2's in the wrong place. I should have probably Googled it beforehand. Oh, well.
So what if the tattooist knew that, though? He was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, well. It's
like,
red ink or something, though, isn't it?
Like, it's like very peach. It's very like, it looks like a scar, a small scar.
Yeah.
But, it's so wild. So fun. And we started on Comic-Con, and now we're ending on Comic-Con.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason, this is the part of the show where you can plug anything you got coming up.
Cool.
I know you got the new show coming up.
Yeah, it's called America's Best Dance Crew, or ABDC. It was on for 7 seasons. Used to be hosted by Mario Lopez.
Okay.
It's one of those shows where they have crews of the best hip hop dancers come out. Guys of 6 to 8 or girls.
Yeah.
And they do
like
these
the Jabberwockies.
Jabberwockies won season 1 of the show, and they dance in sync. And it's those things where you watch it and go, "That what?"
Yeah.
It just it's like America's what's it called? America's Got Talent on steroids, you know, but all in sync. So I used to watch this as a kid in Australia. I did another show for MTV last year called Beyond Dance, and then they said, do you want to do this one? I went, oh my gosh, yes. So I actually saw the set 2 days ago for the first time. We shoot the first step on Wednesday.
Does it film in here?
Yeah, it films at Warner Brothers in Burbank.
I got to come to one.
You do. Yeah, give me your dates.
Absolutely.
I'll hook 100%.
Yeah.
And
that blows my mind.
It's
like,
so
shit
sick.
like that. Like I don't get it, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I love, like, I always joke around people like, oh, I'm a dancer. And it's like, I mean, you could call me a dancer if you had 9 people doing exactly what I'm doing because I'm not doing stuff. But then all of a sudden they start doing flips.
They do
start doing
crazy stuff.
And it's like, come on, dude. Who's doing that? Like, come on, dude. Like, they're not writing that. Like, so who's choreographing that? It's like watching like action movies, like with like Fast and the Furious movies, or even with who's what's his name now? From Rush Hour.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. It's like he choreographs those, and it's like, oh, then I'll fly through a ladder, then I'll do this, and it's like, how do you come up with like?
Nuts.
I will watch it, but watching these people, it's just amazing.
These guys are all the crews that have won over the previous season.
That's
so it's the best of the best.
Yeah.
It's called America's Best Dance Crew Road to the VMAs.
Okay.
We do the finale live leading into the VMAs.
Oh,
so you'll see the best dancers of the best. So it's sick. I actually had a private hip hop coach the last 3 months.
Of course, you and your coaches.
I'm very big on learning stuff, man.
No, believe me, I applaud
all
it.
about that.
I'm envious because that's why, like, one of when we started the show, I like learning things.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of it's in one ear and out the other, but then when it's comes into play, I can recall the things like that, and it's so fascinating to learn all these things.
I just thought how
it's
can
a great
you,
motto to have.
Well, how can you even comment on a subject if you don't understand how hard it is?
Yeah.
If you don't understand anything about it.
Yeah.
So at least now I can go, that guy did that trick. Holy crap, that trick, impossible.
Yeah.
And I understand what's going on, you know?
Yeah.
But
so you took dance class?
I took dance class, to learn some pop and lock, and I can backflip.
Holy shit.
Do a bunch of cool tricks now.
Now, did working out and eating holistically help you backflip?
I mean, I eat like a nut.
Yeah.
I have this
like a health nut, or
a health nut.
Are you gluten free?
No, because I'm not gluten sensitive.
No, you don't have celiac disease.
Which is stupid.
It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, unless you suffer, like I have a cousin who's celiac.
Well, then it's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
But so many people, if you don't live in LA, obviously, you know, LA is a bunch of hocus pocus and mumbo jumbo. There's a thing that's a hugest trend is that gluten free, and that's because people read things and they don't understand what it is, and it isn't a thing. It's not a thing unless your stomach.
Misconception with that is people assume when they pick up a gluten free item, they're gonna it's healthy.
Yeah,
it's not gonna make them fat.
Yeah.
Which is so stupid.
It's so stupid.
It's even organic is getting the whole organic title's getting a little, you know. If you eat something, I mean, organic means that it's either not genetically modified or it hasn't been covered in pesticides.
Yeah.
But if you eat a fruit like an orange or a banana, the pesticides are on the shell of the fruit, so inside is totally fine.
Yeah.
But if you're going to eat an apple, maybe you want to go organic, or grapes, so you don't have that crap all over it, you know?
Yeah. So wild. So, dance.
So America's Best Dance Crew, it'll premiere on the 29th of July.
Okay.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully I can squeeze in some moves somewhere.
Yeah, you have to.
But we'll
when
see,
you go, when
yeah.
you're go, so I've never seen an episode of it or anything like
Yeah.
that. So you interview them after they do the dancing.
I've never done an episode.
Sure.
It starts in 2 days. So today we do our first read through of the script.
Okay.
I've never seen a script.
Yeah.
So I'll see the script.
And then you're
this
going to be,
afternoon.
but so you're the host of it.
So I'm the host, yeah. So I'll be, welcome back to America's Best
Yeah.
Dance Crew, explain what's going on,
So
intro
there you
the
go.
performance.
So I'm going to come to some of these. I'm going to
Yeah,
give you
you
my
can come,
number, and
yeah.
I'm going to give you challenges. I'm gonna
Oh,
give you
crap, like secret
tricks.
challenges?
And-
Oh, you get me fired, man.
No, but you'll do a pop and lock.
Oh, yeah.
Do
just we have
That's amazing.
We have Frankie Grande as a judge, Ariana
Okay.
Grande's brother. T-Pain is a judge.
Okay, T-Pain.
And, and Tiana Taylor's in there as
That's
one of the other
amazing.
judges. Yeah, so it should be cool.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And that premieres on the 29th.
29th of July. Yeah.
29th of July. I believe that's
MTV.
Wednesday, right? Or is that a Thursday?
Let's have a look.
I think 28th is Tuesday. I could be wrong.
Dude,
My
you
phone's
should,
on
you should totally come. Yeah. Drop me an email.
Absolutely.
Let me know. You should totally come to the
The
show.
29th is a Wednesday.
Yeah. America's Best Dance Crew, ABDC.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it'd be sick.
And then you're on the internet. Where can everybody find you? On the
just
internet?
at Jason Dundas.
I like it.
Yeah.
On Instagram and Twitter and all
Everything,
that. Hocus
yeah.
Pocus. I like it. Jason, thank you for
cool.
coming on. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks
dude.
for letting
You
me
were
tell
really
some
good.
stories.
Absolutely.
It
This
was
has been
fun.
awesome.
Cool.
It's been more like I learned more about from these stories like Komodos and all that
Yeah.
than the dumb facts I have about like Chef Boyardee. He was actually a real chef.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's a fact. There you go. He's a real chef. And he spelled it so people would pronounce his name.
Yeah, right.
Boom. There you go. End fact. Beat that Komodo dragon. No. Thank you, Jason.
cheers.
Thanks, everybody, for checking it out. Listen to this show. Watch America's Best Dance on next Wednesday. So a week from... This will come out on Tuesday, so, a week from now. And Dan's not here because he's in Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi, yeah.
Yeah, he's doing, my other co-host, he's doing some, junket for the new Fast 7 Blu-ray or whatever.
Oh,
so
sick.
They flew him all out there to interview and do all those weird shit and drive around
Cool.
fast cars and all that. So safe travels, Dan. Come back with some stories. You can follow Dan on Twitter at OsteoFerocious. You can follow me at My Name is Razzle 2. You can send us an email, todayWeLearnPodcast@gmail.com. Download us on iTunes, Nerdist.com, all that, Hocus Pocus. And, as always, carry a big stick if you're Komodo hunting.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Now leaving Nerdist.com.